Jalapeno salsa is one of those that I really appreciate the flavor of. I don't know what it is that I love about it. You know, ever since I was a kid, and my mom, that was like her go-to snack in the middle of the day. She'd go and get some chips and salsa. Salsa's always been a great thing to me, brings that nostalgia. Well, there's just something about this jalapeno salsa. It's spicy, but it's got flavor to it. So I really like this one. Start with blanching my tomatoes. Now I have all kinds of different tomatoes in the garden this year. I collect my own seed and somehow I ended up with way more of every color except for red. I think I just have the couple of red ones there. After I blanch them, I go back through and I core out all of them and then I quarter them just to make it a little bit easier for when I seed them. After seeding my tomatoes, I chop them up into small pieces so they'll work well for my salsa. Then I put on my gloves and I cut off the top of 20 large jalapenos. I cut them in half and then I like to use a spoon to seed them. I just work it right down the center. Now, if you like a really hot salsa, you can always leave those seeds in and it will be much, much spicier. I then go through and cut them in slices and dice them up. I also dice up 2 large onions and chop up 1/4 of a cup of cilantro. Now I'll add all of my ingredients to a pot. So that's my 6 cups worth of tomatoes, my 20 diced jalapenos, 2 diced onions, 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, 3/4 of a cup of minced garlic. I get the pre-minced ones. I cheat a little bit, but you could mince your own if you wanted to. 1/4 of a cup of chopped cilantro, 1 tablespoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of dry oregano, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of chipotle pepper powder. I like the chipotle pepper powder because it adds that little hint of smokiness as well as, of course, the heat. And then I'll place this on the stove and bring it to a boil. Now that it's begun to boil, I'll reduce it to a simmer and allow it to simmer for 10 minutes. Now I'll fill up my pint-sized jars to 1/2 of an inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. Oh, this stuff smells so good. I don't even know why it's so good. Before I tried this one, I thought it was going to be like scary hot, but I mean, it's not. It does have a little bit of spice to it, depending on the peppers. You know, if I have a hotter pepper that I'm using that day, because not all jalapenos are created equal, then it might be a little bit hotter. But by and large, it just has some really good flavor to it. Oh, and I'm using my Superb jars and lids today. Superb is an American-made company, and I've actually really liked working with them. These jars are just amazing. When they ship them to you, they're in these boxes that are nigh indestructible. And the jars themselves just feel a lot thicker, more like the antique jars that I like to use. Their lids are really cool too because they have a super squishy seal. In fact, it's supposed to seal for up to 36 months, which is twice the amount of time that the ball lids that I used to use did. Their only downside is that they can be just a tiny bit on the pricier side. So I have a 20% off discount code as well as the link in my description below. And then I use a clean, damp cloth to wipe off the rim of my jars so that if anything got on the edge, that it won't interfere with the seal. And I'll place my lids and rings on until they're fingertip tight. And I'll place these in my boiling water bath, submerged by 1 to 2 inches of hot water, and process them for 15 minutes if I'm at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'll process them for 20. But I won't set my timer until after it begins to boil. Now that the timer's gone off, I'll remove the lid, turn off the heat, and let it cool for 5 minutes. I place my jars on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart so that they can cool down quickly. I'll leave them there for 24 hours so that they can get a good seal. I can tell they have a good seal if the center of the lid has depressed down. If it has, then I remove the ring, wash them with hot soapy water, and store them in a cool, dry, dark location, like my pantry, and use them in the next 1 to 3 years. If for some reason one didn't seal, I would place it in the refrigerator and use it right away. So jalapeno salsa Usually I would eat this with chips, but to get the true experience of all of the flavors, it's actually best to eat it alone. So it's so good. It has all these subtle flavors behind it. Of course, there's a lot of onion and tomato and the jalapeno, don't forget that. But it's not so hot that I don't feel like I can taste all of those other flavors and spices behind it.